Okay, we're going to continue in Isaiah 58th chapter and the 13th verse. It says, if thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure, whatever you desire to do, on my holy day, the Most High says, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Most High, not us, but the holy of the Most High, honorable, and shall honor him. Honor the Most High, not doing thine own ways. Because you said not doing your pleasures. You know, what's more pleasurable than sexual intercourse? You're not supposed to be doing that on the Sabbath day. Not doing your own ways, the things that you like to do. It's really a sacrifice. If you want to know what it really is, it's a sacrifice. You desire to do something and you don't do it. You don't do it. That's that sacrifice. Not finding thine own pleasure, see? He said that. Why the Most High say that in this verse twice? He said in the beginning, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day. Then he says again, not finding thine own pleasure, not looking for things that will please you, nor speaking thine own words, not talking about the things that you would in the world. Like I said, once the book is closed, now you talk about everything in the world. Not speaking thine own words, but the words of the Most High. Talk about spiritual things. Can you do that? That's what we got to do. Then shalt thou delight thyself in the Most High. Not in your own self, not in your own things you like. You're going to delight yourself in the Most High. He like to be boasted on. He like to be talked about. Better read King David. David was a man after the Most High's heart. Most High loved David. Then shalt thou delight thyself in the Most High. And Bahashama Mashiach Yahushua. And I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of the Most High have spoken it. So if you don't do it, Most High ain't gonna feed you with the heritage of Jacob. He ain't gonna let you ride on the high places. The mouth of the Most High has spoken this. It's his holy day. Understand this, overstand this, people. This is real. But see, Israel want to do it like they want to do it. How they want to do it. And come up with a way to say it's justified doing what they do. Sad to say, but it's real. Israel is real. Israel is real. Huh? It's real. Coming from the mouth of the Most High, you think you know what he talking about? You better ask somebody. So they're going to set you up to be all right. It's going to be all right. If you follow what he say do, he's not a man that he should lie. That's why, he's telling us, giving us clear, within these verses that I went over, you should have heard clear indication that the next day after the Passover is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. The next day after the Passover is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. We have the Passover, then we have the Feast of Unleavened Bread the next day. It's something, boy, how I look at how we have been kind of like gone in our own direction of following man. I just got an invitation for Passover / Feast of Unleavened Bread. Can't be both. Passover is one day, the 14th day. I know y'all tired of me saying it. But I gotta keep saying it because it gotta register to you. The Most High speak once, twice, and he speak many times saying the same thing in different ways. But it's still there. You can't say that it's not. Go to Jeremiah the 7th chapter, verse 22. Let's look. Jeremiah 7 and 22. This is what he said. For I spake not unto your fathers, nor commanded them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt. When is this? On the feast of unleavened bread. The next day, the next night after the Passover. Concerning burnt offerings or sacrifices. So he ain't talk to us about burnt offerings or sacrifices. But this thing commanded I them, saying, what? Obey my voice, and I will be your power. Do what I say do. I'm giving you rules and regulations, laws, statutes, commandments. I'm giving you rules and regulations. Obey my voice, and I will be your power. And ye shall be my people. And walk ye in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well with you, unto you. But they hearken not. They ain't listen. We didn't listen. Nor incline their ear, but walked in the counsels and in the imagination of their evil heart. He just said, remember he said, not doing your pleasure on my holy day. But what do? But walked in the counsels and in the imagination of their evil heart. That's why Ecclesiasticus 3:24 says what? For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, worthless thoughts, and an evil suspicion overthrown their judgment. That's why we ate of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. What you think? You ain't rebuking the evil? So that when that evil suspicion has overthrown the judgment. So you, just like you just said, but walked in the counsels and in the imagination of their evil heart. That's your evil mind. And went backwards and not forward. You know that? Went backwards and not forward. Since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Egypt unto this day, I have even sent unto you all my servants the prophets, daily rising up early and sending them. Yet they hearken not unto me, nor incline their ear, but harden their neck. They did worse than their fathers. Hear that? This is what it says. Since the day that your fathers came forth out of Egypt, the land of Egypt, unto this day. This was on the 15th day of the first month, Feast of Unleavened Bread. That's when we left Egypt, as we read. I have even sent unto you all my servants, the prophets, daily rising up early and sending them. Yet they hearken not unto me, nor incline their ear, but harden their neck. They did worse than their fathers. Man, it's cold, boy. He said, therefore thou shalt speak all these words unto them. But they will not hearken to thee, so they ain't gonna listen to you. Thou shalt also call unto them, but they will not answer thee. But thou shalt say unto them, this is a nation that obeyeth not the voice of the Most High their power, nor receiveth correction. Truth is perished. The law is the truth. Is perished and is cut off from their mouth. Many people say we not under the law until this day. That's why he said, verse 25, since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Egypt unto this day. The Most High knows, boy. He said, unto this day, I have even sent unto you all my servants, the prophets, daily rising up early and sending them. Yet they hearken not unto me, nor incline their ears, but harden their neck. They did worse than their fathers. Crazy, man. You know, you think about it, we see all the plagues that the Most High brought upon the Egyptians. We in captivity under the Egyptians. We seen all the many plagues that the Most High brought upon the Egyptians. And never those plagues affected us at all. 10 plagues. Then in the end, he killed all the firstborn of the Egyptians. Then Pharaoh let us go. He let us go, and we still didn't have no faith. No faith. No faith. No faith. Sad. We're a sad case, man. Most I say he came to other people, they would gladly accepted him. Like you see people going up in the churches and so forth, thinking that they're really doing something. They not honor the power of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. We just read, he just showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgment unto Israel. He has not dealt so with any nation. After the judgment, they have not known them. But you let them tell it, they really on point with them. But that's not the case as concerning what's written in this Bible. You say, I love Jacob. You won't see where he said he loved nobody else. But he loved us. And what we do, turn our back on him. Like you said, stiff-necked, hard-headed. Don't want to listen. Don't want to follow the way that he's telling us to follow until this day. Therefore, we're in the situation that we're in. From nation to nation to nation, and captivity to captivity to captivity. But there is a solution. And like I said, we're gonna look at this and go over this so that we can, since we have 7 days to observe this, I'm gonna spend a lot of time dealing with, bringing forth this truth of, we as a people being in captivity, coming out of captivity, and the Most High dealing with us in our world. Let's go to Numbers 14th chapter, and let's look at when we came out of Egypt. Give you a scenario of what went on. Now, we done borrowed everything from the Egyptians and we rolling, right? Let's look at Exodus, the 14th chapter. And let's start at verse 5. It was told the king of Egypt that the people fled. And the heart of Pharaoh and his servants and of his servants was turned against the people. Now we're leaving out. This is the 15th day of the first month, that evening. And they said, why have we done this? That we have let Israel go from serving us. And he made ready his chariot and took his people with him. And he took 600 chosen chariots and all the chariots of Egypt and captains over every one of them. And the Most High hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And he pursued after the children of Israel. See, the Most High ruled in the kingdom of men. The Most High hardened Pharaoh's mind. And he pursued after the children of Israel. He pursued after us. And the children of Israel went out with an high hand. That hand, the same hand, Mashiach Yahushua, as the angel of the Most High, that's going to make a move on them, as we're going to see. But the Egyptians pursued after them all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh, and his horsemen, and his army, and overtook them encamping by the sea, beside Pehorath, before Baal Zephon. And when Pharaoh drew near, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them. So when he got near, we the children of Israel looked up our eyes and seen him, that he's getting near to us. And behold, the Egyptians marched after them. So, oh no, they're chasing after us. And they were so afraid. They were so afraid, and what do? And the children of Israel cried out unto the Most High. So they crying out, Most High, please save us, save us. Please, please. They crying out. Thinking that he going to just come and destroy them. 600 chariots? Thinking he's just coming to destroy us. So they cried out to the Most, praying their hardest, crying tears, weeping, crying. Understand this, with sadness. Thinking that they're going to get killed. But listen. And they said unto Moses, this is after they done prayed and cried to the Most High. And they said unto Moses, because there was no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us, to carry us forth out of Egypt? Is not this the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, leave us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? We get out of here. It's time to go. The Most High released us. What did they tell them? Leave us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians, that we may continue to be slaves. It says, Israel a homeborn slave? Leave us alone. That's what I said. You talking about they left on the 14th? No way. You hear what they said. Leave us alone. It's time to go. What they say? Leave us alone so we can serve the Egyptians. Want to still remain a slave. Y'all thinking that the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the day we left, is on the same day? And then we spoiled the Egyptians. We borrowed everything from them. Once we realized that, once everybody, you see somebody coming out of their house, you got all their stuff. What's going on? Oh man, we gonna get out of here. Oh, it's for real? For real? For real? For real? And they still seeing everybody coming out of the house with everything. You know how Israel is. You hear what he's, look, can't get no clearer than this. What they tell Moses? Let us alone. Leave us alone. Get on away from me. That we may serve the Egyptians. That we may remain slaves. For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. No faith. No faith at all. Look, verse 10, what did they do? And they were so afraid. See the Pharaohs and his chariots coming after us? They were so afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto the Most High. They praying to the Most High. What's the point of praying? And also you prayed, here you come with, leave us alone. Should have left us alone with the Egyptians, that we could remain slaves under the Egyptians. What's the point of praying? Instantly, no faith. No faith. Sad. But it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not. Stand still and see the salvation of the Most High. The power that I serve. The power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Which he will show to you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever. Now you know they don't believe this. They looking like, how's this going to happen? They done cried to the Most High as fast as they prayed to the Most High, crying to the Most High. It was like they never prayed before. Ever. Because they had no faith instantly afterward. Tell the Moses, leave them alone. The Most High shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. Shut up. He said, "Go hold your peace. You gonna be quiet. Shaquat, shut up." That's what he said to him. And the Most High said unto Moses, "Wherefore criest thou unto me?" Listen. Say, "Why are you crying unto me?" Speaking to the children of Israel, that they go forward. Keep moving. But lift thou up thy rod and stretch out thine hand over the sea and divide it. And the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. Now look at this miracle. He say, stretch your rod over the Red Sea. Hey, it's going to divide, and I'm going to dry the ground that you may go over on dry ground in the midst of the sea. Come on. He already did 10 plagues on the, that's miracles right there. 10 plagues on the Egyptians that we know. And nothing happened to us. And here you go, another miracle. And behold, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians. I'm going to harden their minds, and they shall follow them. They're going to follow them. Go forward. They're going to follow them. And I will get me honor before Pharaoh. Hear that? He said he's going to get himself honor before Pharaoh. This is what it's about. It's going to be the same thing in our deliverance. Most likely going to get him an honor. He's going to be all in all. Believe this. He said, I'm going to get me honor, right? Upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts, all his armies, upon his chariots and upon his horsemen. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Most High, when I have gotten me honor upon Pharaoh, upon his chariots and upon his horsemen. Now here we go. How did he do it? Because the Most High is involved in everything. So how's he going to do it? Let's find out. And the angel of the Most High, which went before the camp of Israel, which is a Mashiach Yahushai, I must point him out again. He's that angel of the Most High. He's that one that's right there in Genesis, the first chapter. We just in Exodus, the next chapter after Genesis. He's right here in Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, Elohim, they put God there, but it's Elohim. In the Hebrew, the powers created the heaven and the earth. This is Mashiach Yahushai in this verse. Right there. The Most High of Mashiach Yahushai created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of the Most High moved upon the face of the water, started to create. The Spirit of the Most High, right? So, Psalms 104:4 lets you know Psalms 104:4. Somebody gonna get it eventually. Psalms 104:4. Who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers a flaming fire. So it can say the Spirit of the Most High or the angel of the Most High, as we're going to see, is saying in Exodus the 14th chapter. So verse 2 says, and the earth was without form in Genesis 1 and 2, and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of the Most High, could that be angel of the Most High? Yes. Because angel spirit. So angel spirit, the same entity. And the Spirit of the Most High moved upon the face of the waters, right? And it started to create. And the Most High said, when he said, this is what the Spirit of the Most High started to create. This Spirit of the Most High is a Mashiach Yahushai. Most High said, let there be light, and there was light. Mashiach Yahushai made the light through the power of the Most High. Real quick, Ephesians 3:9. This is a mystery. This is something that's unknown. Because most people just think he came in the flesh. That was the first time he came into existence. No. Ephesians 3:9. and to make all men see what is the fellowship of the mystery, something that's unknown, a secret, which from the beginning of the world, we just went to the beginning of the world in Genesis 1 and 1 and 1 and 2, have been hid in the Most High, who created all things by Hamashiach Yahushai. See? He created all things by Hamashiach Yahushai. Look at a prayer that Hamashiach Yahushai prayed. Go to John the 17th chapter and the 5th verse and get right to the point. John the 17th chapter, the 5th verse. It's not for everyone because everyone's not spiritual. But hopefully you'll see this and it'll move you to realize this mystery. John 17 and 5. This is a prayer that Hamashiach Yahushai, when he was in the flesh, prayed to the Father, the Most High. This is what he said. John 17 and 5. And now, O Father, talk about the Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who've been reading about all night. Glorify thou me with thine own self, with the glory which I had with thee before the world was. That before the beginning of Genesis. Look, Revelation 3:14. Understand this, overstand this. This is the beginning of the creation of the Most High. Who is who? Mashiach Yahushua. And unto the angel of the church of the Laodicean write, these things said the, I'll say, Mashiach Yahushua. His name is not Amen. The faithful and true witness, the beginning of the creation of the Most High. The beginning of the creation of the Most High. So the Most High created a Mashiach Yahushua, his only begotten Son. That's why you read John 3:16, he says, for the Most High so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. So Mashiach Yahushua praying to himself? No. In John 17:5, he's praying to the Father that he can have the glory which he had with the Most High before the world was. See that? So let's go back to Exodus, the 14th chapter. Now, he was created as a spirit, as an angel. The first angel. The first spirit. The same spirit that we read about in Exodus, right here, 19. But before here, he was identified in Exodus, the 3rd chapter, the 2nd verse. The same spirit of the Most High, only said angel of the Most High. He making the spirits angels. This him too. And the angel of the Most High appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. Angel of the Most High, right? We just in the 2nd chapter in Exodus, from Genesis to Exodus. Now go to verse 14. And the angel of the Most High, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them. So the angel of the Most High, this is a Mashiach Yahushua, as y'all know him as Jesus Christ. Only he's not in the flesh. He's an angel. He's a spirit. The first begotten Son of the Most High, the only creation of the Most High, the beginning of the creation of the Most High. You understand? The Most High created all things by Hamashiach Yahushua, as we just read in Ephesians 3 and 9. So the angel of the Most High, and I must say Hamashiach Yahushua as an angel, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them. And the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel. So we are up in front, Egyptians right here, and Mashiach Yahushua as the angel of the Most High is behind. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea as the Most High told him, and the Most High caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters went. The waters were a wall upon them on their right hand and on their left. And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them into the midst of the sea. So they found after it, see it's dry land. They could do it, we can do it. Even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots and his horsemen. And it came to pass that in the morning, watch, the Most High looked upon the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians, and took off their chariot wheels. Took their chariot wheels off. That they drave them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, "Let us flee from the face of Israel." Can you imagine? They riding to get us, and the wheels come off, so therefore they turning over. He said, "Let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Most High fighteth for them against the Egyptians." Because they know, anywhere in the world, no Israelite is taking their wheels off. No entity on this earth is taking their wheels off. It's the invisible power. And invisible powers. The angel of the Most High. Invisible power. Spirit took their wheels off. They start sinking into that the waters, listen, and took their chariot wheels, that they drave them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, "Let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Most High fighteth for them against the Egyptians." And the Most High said unto Moses, "Stretch out thine hand over the sea, that the waters may come again upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots, and upon their horsemen." The Most High is getting ready to kill them. And Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to its strength. When the morning appeared, the Egyptians fled against it. And the Most High overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. Got them in the middle of the sea. As they chasing after us, told Moses, "Put forth your staff." And the sea came back together as they're in the middle of it. And the Most High overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. That's our power, Yasharala. And the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen and all the host of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them. But the children of Israel walked upon dry ground in the midst of the sea. Can you imagine? Okay, we still walking in the sea. Behind us, Moses do like this behind them, and the sea covers them up. While the sea is still a wall as we going forward. I don't even know if they even did it like that. Made it like that. We walking forward on dry ground. Moses turns around and puts his rod out, and the sea covers them up, and the sea don't move no further this way. It's just drowning them. And that's powerful. But the children of Israel walked upon dry ground in the midst of the sea. They drowning. We still on dry ground in the midst of the sea. And the waters were a wall upon them on their right hand, and on their left. Thus the Most High saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore. Hear that? We saw all of them, Pharaoh and all of them, dead on the seashore. And Israel saw that great work which the Most High did upon the Egyptians, added to all the plagues that he put upon the Egyptians. And the people feared the Most High. Death make us fear the Most High. And the people feared the Most High and believed the Most High and his servant Moses. See? But what happened? Where was they at? Did they fear him initially? Look at verse 10. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them. And they were so afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto the Most High. That's the only time the Most High ever had pity on us, y'all. We cry out to the Most High. But crying out to the Most High, and then you're going to come back and say, and they said unto Moses, verse 11, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt with us, to carry us forth out of Egypt. Is not this the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, leave us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? Would it have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness? We can't be like that. We got to have strong faith. You want to make it out of this wicked world that we in right now, you better have some strong faith. And most I looking for those. Master Shai said point blank, is there going to be faith when he come back to the earth? You see how we are. You can't be that way. Look at they cried to the Most High. Let's show you when you cried to the Most High the results, because they cried to the Most High. The Most High talked about us, like, throughout this lesson. You heard him talk about us. So let's see what works. Judges 10:10. Judges 10th chapter, 10th verse. And the children of Israel cried unto the Most High, saying, we have sinned against thee. We have broken your law, statute, commandments, both because we have forsaken our power and also served Baalim. All these different religions, all the different things that they bring forth, we always in it. And the Most High said unto the children of Israel, did not I deliver you from the Egyptians? We just read about it. Drowned Pharaoh and all his chariots, all his men. And from the Amorites, we was delivered from the Amorites. From the children of Ammon, from the Japanese, indigenous people. And from the Philistines, Egyptians. And Zidonians also, and the Amalekites, Moabites, Mohamites, and Jewish people, and the Maonites did oppress you, and ye cried to me. It's like we cried when Pharaoh was pursuing us to kill us in our minds, but we cried to the Most High. And ye cried to me, and I delivered you out of their hand. Yet ye have forsaken me, and served other gods, other idols. Wherefore I will deliver you no more. Go and cry unto the powers of the gods of the idols which ye have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation. We're in the time of tribulation right now. And the children of Israel said unto the Most High, we have sinned. Do thou unto us whatsoever seemeth good unto thee. Deliver us only, we pray thee this day. And they put away the strange gods, strange idols from among them, and served the Most High. And his soul was grieved for the misery of Israel. You see? So that's the solution. We got to cry to the Most High. And you can't cry to him with no pride, no arrogancy, no ego. You got to humble yourself before the Most High. There ain't no power like the Most High. We got the power of powers of powers until eternity, saying power. There ain't no power but the Most High. We have that, Yasharala, so that's the solution. And with that, like I said, I'm going to continue this. We got 7 days of eating unleavened bread, and, we're going to feast and have a good time, and we under quarantine or living in your home safely, can't come together as you should, want to. But all praise to the Most High that we have this at this time to be able to come together. And with that, I say shalom and keep the faith. Don't be like our ancestors. Have strong faith and cry to the Most High that we may be delivered out of this captivity. Because we're going to be delivered. We got next forever and ever and ever. Can't nobody stop the prophecy of the Most High. And with that, I'm out. Shalom.